Ever wondered what lies beneath the surface of history's most enigmatic figures? Today, we dive into the hidden truths about Osama bin Laden that most people don't know. If you're ready for a fresh perspective, hit that subscribe button, give us a thumbs up, and share this video with others who might be intrigued by what's to come. 1. Birthplace. Osama bin Laden was born on March 10, 1957, in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Riyadh, the capital city of Saudi Arabia, was a rapidly developing metropolis at the time, reflective of the country's growing wealth from oil exports. 2. Wealthy family. He was born into one of the wealthiest and most influential families in Saudi Arabia. His father, Mohammed bin Laden, was the founder of the Bin Laden Group, a construction conglomerate that played a significant role in the modernization of Saudi Arabia, including the renovation of the holy cities of Mecca and Medina. 3. Large family. Osama was one of 54 children born to Mohammed bin Laden, who had multiple wives. His father followed the traditional Islamic practice of polygamy, which was common in Saudi society at the time. Growing up in such a large family, Osama had to navigate complex familial dynamics, but his father's wealth ensured that all his children received a privileged upbringing. 4. Education. He received his early education in Jeddah, where he attended elite schools. Later, he studied economics and business administration at King Abdulaziz University. During his time at university, bin Laden was exposed to both secular and religious studies, but it was his involvement in Islamic studies that profoundly shaped his worldview. His academic pursuits were heavily influenced by the teachings of conservative scholars. 5. Influence of the Muslim Brotherhood. During his university years, Osama became deeply influenced by the ideology of the Muslim Brotherhood, a transnational Sunni Islamist organization founded in Egypt in 1928. The Brotherhood's teachings on jihad and its opposition to Western influence in Muslim lands resonated with him, planting the seeds for his later activism. 6. Marriage at 17. At the age of 17, Osama married his first cousin, Najwa Ghanem, who was originally from Syria. The marriage was arranged in accordance with traditional customs, and Najwa became the first of his 5 wives. Their marriage was described as traditional, with Najwa fulfilling the role of a dutiful wife in a conservative Muslim household. 7. Multiple wives. Throughout his life, Osama married 5 women and fathered more than 20 children. His polygamous marriages were in line with Islamic customs, and he maintained a strict code of conduct within his household. His children, much like himself, were raised with a strong emphasis on Islamic values and teachings. 8. Early philanthropy. Osama bin Laden was initially recognized for his philanthropic efforts, especially within the Islamic world. He donated substantial amounts to various charities, Islamic schools, and orphanages. His early charitable work earned him respect in certain circles. 9. Complex relationship with the Saudi royal family. Although he eventually turned against the Saudi monarchy, bin Laden initially enjoyed a close relationship with the royal family. His family's construction company had lucrative contracts with the Saudi government, and bin Laden himself supported the monarchy during the Soviet-Afghan War. 10. Health issues. Bin Laden reportedly suffered from several health problems, including kidney disease. Some reports suggest that he required dialysis, which posed significant challenges during his time on the run. His health issues were kept secret from most of his followers. 11. Soviet-Afghan War. In the 1980s, Osama bin Laden played a significant role in the Soviet-Afghan War, a conflict that saw Afghan Mujahideen fighters resisting Soviet occupation. Osama used his wealth to fund the Mujahideen and personally participated in the conflict, traveling to Afghanistan to fight alongside Afghan and foreign fighters. This experience solidified his belief in jihad as a legitimate form of struggle and laid the foundation for his later establishment of Al-Qaeda. 12. Formation of Al-Qaeda. In 1988, Osama bin Laden formally established Al-Qaeda, which translates to the base. The organization was initially created to coordinate the efforts of various jihadist groups that were fighting in the Soviet-Afghan War. Bin Laden envisioned Al-Qaeda as the nucleus of a global Islamic movement that would defend Muslim lands from foreign occupation and eventually overthrow secular governments in the Muslim world. 13. Declaration of Jihad. In 1996, bin Laden issued a declaration of jihad against the Americans occupying the land of the two holy mosques, which was published in the Arabic-language newspaper Al-Quds Al-Arabi. This declaration called for the expulsion of U.S. forces from Saudi Arabia and the overthrow of its government, which he viewed as a puppet regime of the West. This marked the beginning of his public campaign against the United States. 14. Planning 9/11s. Osama bin Laden was the orchestrator of the September 11, 2001, attacks on the United States, one of the deadliest events in modern history. The attacks involved the hijacking of 4 commercial airplanes, 2 of which were flown into the World Trade Center towers in New York City, another into the Pentagon in Washington, D.C., and the 4th crashed in Pennsylvania after passengers attempted to overpower the hijackers. The 9/11 attacks were meticulously planned over several years, with bin Laden personally overseeing the operation. 15. Strategic mindset. Bin Laden was not just a figurehead but a strategic thinker. He carefully planned Al-Qaeda's operations, choosing symbolic targets that would have a profound psychological impact. The 9/11 attacks, for instance, were meticulously planned to strike at the heart of American economic and military power. 16. Bin Laden's public justification. In the aftermath of 9/11, Osama bin Laden released several video messages justifying the attacks. He claimed that they were a response to U.S. foreign policy in the Middle East, particularly America's support for Israel and its military presence in Muslim countries. Bin Laden framed the attacks as a form of defensive jihad, portraying himself as a defender of Islam against Western aggression. 17. Worldwide hunt. Osama bin Laden became the world's most wanted man following the 9/11 attacks. The U.S. government placed a $25 million bounty on his head, leading to an extensive global manhunt. Intelligence agencies from around the world collaborated to track down bin Laden and dismantle Al-Qaeda's network. Despite these efforts, he managed to elude capture for nearly a decade. 18. Operation Neptune Spear. On May 2, 2011, Osama bin Laden was killed in a U.S. Navy SEAL operation codenamed Operation Neptune Spear. The operation was ordered by President Barack Obama and involved a team of Navy SEALs who flew into Pakistan from Afghanistan via helicopters. The raid on bin Laden's compound lasted about 40 minutes and resulted in his death, along with the deaths of several other occupants of the compound. The SEALs retrieved valuable intelligence from the site, including hard drives, documents, and other materials related to Al-Qaeda's operations. These were 18 facts that most of us do not know about Osama bin Laden. If this video made you see things differently, let us know who you want us to uncover next in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, and share this video with others to keep the conversation going.